Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to Morning Inspiration. This is your girl Yvonne Michelle here from YvonneMichelle.com. If it is your first time here, welcome, welcome, welcome. And if it's not, welcome. For those of you who are just logging in and are on the replay, do remember to put hashtag replay. Put your comments in the thread. Do let me know what you get from this show. What were your inspirational moments and what is inspiring you? And if you want more, please do not hesitate to let me know. Do not hesitate to let me know. So we are working this week on our story. Yesterday was Manifest Monday, and we were talking about your story. Yes, we are all we're looking at speaking. Why are we looking at speaking? Because speaking is fundamentally the most important thing that we have now. We know that we are in the middle of a pandemic and that things have been restricted. We are going out and then we're not allowed to go out. We are allowed, and there's so much uncertainty going on. But the one thing that we can be certain of today, ladies and gentlemen, is that we can use the power of our voice, the power of our speaking voice. So I just want to go through this. And another reason why we are looking at this today is because I am is what I do as a presenter of 3 TV shows. That is what I do. That is my expertise. And so we're going to start looking at how you can use your voice to elevate your life, to move forward in your life, to increase not only your business, but to increase your life, to increase your relationships, have better relationships, to also in your health. You have to speak about it. You have to be confident enough. If you feel that there's an issue in your health, then you've got to speak about it. You've got to go to the right people and tell them exactly what's going on. So this morning, I'm going to wish you all a good morning. I can see that we have Jonathan Dodd here. Good morning, Jonathan. I think you're the first time here. Welcome to this space. Welcome to Morning Inspiration. Good morning, Veronica Roberts. And good morning, Amina. Good morning to everybody that is here this morning. So we are going to be moving forward. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We're going to be moving forward and discussing your story this morning. Like I said yesterday, I said to you, I wanted you to go into your archive, go into your mind's eye and think about good morning, Elizabeth. How you doing? Good morning, my precious. I am wonderful. I am wonderful. Good to see you here this morning. So this morning, good morning, Sheena also. Good morning, good to see you guys here. Right, I'm going to get straight into good morning, Instagram. How are you doing, Rita and Sasha? How are you doing this morning? So good to see you here. So if you are a business owner or not, this is for you. Right, and this is all about your story. So yesterday, we were talking about how we look at pictures and what was that defining moment. So yesterday I showed you a defining moment. It was a moment where I was receiving an award, but in the midst of receiving the award, I was telling you about how I was feeling, the emotions behind it, the thoughts that were in my head. And sometimes this is where we are at. We are in a place where it looks great to everybody else, but in our own space, in our own mind, it is far worse than that. It's difficult. We've got a lot of mind chatter going on and it's negative stuff. We want to eliminate that this morning. I want to show you how to use your story. Use your story to elevate your life. Your life is your story. Okay? But sometimes, and this is where we want to go today, sometimes we get stuck in our story. All right? Sometimes we get stuck in our story. Well, what does that mean and what does that look like, Yvonne Michelle? What it looks like is that we've all gone through stuff, right? Every single one of us, we've all gone through stuff. And in that stuff that we go through, there comes a time where sometimes if we don't check ourselves, we don't check our language, we are in the situation and we don't know that we are still living in the pain, living in the hurt. And it's always the hurt. We don't live in the rejoicing side. We always seem to stick into the parts that hurt us the most. So we're going to look into that this morning. We're going to deep dive into that. And I want you to have an open mind this morning about that, because at the end of the day, I remember, there's people who have grown up, and clients that I've helped throughout the years that have gone, that have been traveling through their life and cannot understand why they can't move forward. And many times, a lot of the time, it's because they are stuck, you are stuck, we are stuck in an element of our story. So my thing for you to say today, what I'm going to say to you is that don't be ashamed of your story. It will set someone else free. All right? Don't be ashamed of your story. It will set someone else free. Don't be ashamed to tell your story. Your story is powerful. And more often than not, we don't think our story's even interesting. Right? We don't think our story's interesting. We just stuck in it. We can't move forward from the story. So should I give you for instance? So it may be, and I can only teach you from my own perspective, right? I can't teach you from anybody else's perspective because that's their story and this is mine. All right. And so, as I said yesterday, I had a story. I had a secret part of my life that I held a secret for 34 years. And in those 34 years, there were many, 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 many times throughout those 34 years where I was stuck in my story. So much so that it hindered me from having a meaningful and loving relationship. Even though I've been married and divorced, happily married, happily divorced, right? But in that time, in the 34 years, this story was always telling me that I'm not good enough. I can't do that. I can't be this. No one's interested. No one cares. And these are the things that every single one of us go through. Your story is very, very unique to you. You know what you've been through. Only you know. And only you know how you truly felt. But at the end of the day, you have to take that story and use it as your springboard to your success. Because what happens is when you don't talk about your story, when you keep it a secret, it keeps you captive. It keeps you in chains. And it's not the Wakanda forever. It's like chains like this. So you can't move. You can't move forward. You just seem to be stagnant. And like I always say, anything that is stagnant will smell. It will stink, right? Anything. If you go around stagnant water, it stinks. It's got a smell to it and it doesn't smell very pleasant. Anything that is stagnant will stink. And so if your mindset is stagnant, you will have stinking thinking. And your stinking thinking will tell you that you are in lack. Now, I want you to use your story. So yesterday, the task was to go into your archives, go into your pictures and pick out a picture that was a defining moment, that was a picture that would help you to move forward. The picture that I showed you yesterday was a picture of me winning an award. And it was in my hometown. I won an award, and it was the first time I'd won an award in my hometown. Not the first time I'd won an award, but it was the first time in my own hometown. And I was nervous. I felt like I wasn't worthy of it. I felt like I hadn't done anything to deserve it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So where I'm going with you today is I want you, that task still remains. Why am I asking you to find the picture? Because that picture is the picture that's going to help you moving forward, right? It's going to help you moving forward. We have to use what we have until we have what we need. And some of you are not confident. Some of you are having all this negative mind chat telling you that you can't do this, you can't achieve that. And these are the tips, these are the tools that will help you to move forward, right? This is what we are doing. And this is why I'm saying to you, come on, guys, get with the program, do these little exercises because it will help you to move forward. All right. So today, your story, your story, your story. I'm saying to you, don't be ashamed. Do not be ashamed of your story. It will set someone else free. Because you think that you're the only person that's been through your story. You think you're the only person that's ever gone through what you've gone through. But actually, there are millions of people in the world that have gone through something similar that will be able to relate to you. So, for instance, if you have a product or service, if you are in the service industry, if you have a product, if you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, or you've got a little side hustle, you're making a little change, or you want to make a little change. This is how you do it. You do it by your story. Your story is your pathway into people's lives, people's homes, people's minds. This is how people remember you. They might remember you by your hairstyle. Yes, they might. I'm not even going to knock it because people see me, they instantly know who I am. When I've got my hair like this, they know this is Yvonne Michelle. They know because it's become a trademark, okay? Or you might see, normally I have on Queen earrings. If somebody sees Queen, they automatically think of Yvonne Michelle because I normally have that. But today I've got my sparklies on. Yes, I'm feeling rather extravagant today, darling. Yes, I am. So, your story. What is your story? What is the truth of your story? I want you to go to the truth of your story and I want you to write it down. Write down what your story is. You might have many, many instances, but you have to think about what story is related to you now. What story is related to you now? So what story is related to me now is me not being able to speak, is me holding back this secret and telling myself that I wasn't good enough to speak, wasn't good enough to sing, wasn't good enough to present, wasn't good enough to even do this with you guys. And so I have to go back on my timeline because I'm no longer in that story. But when I was in that story, I was living in that story in my mind. Even though outwardly that story had ended, I couldn't walk away from the story. So I'm asking you today, what is your story? Because your story is either going to propel you or it's going to hold you captive. And I would rather that it propels you than it holds you captive. So you have to be really, really honest and get before people that you trust. Find yourself a coach. Talk to somebody, talk it through with someone and find out how you can use your story as your surfer ticket to him, a surfer ticket, like an old lady. That is your surfer ticket to wherever you want to get to. That is your qualification. That qualifies you being an expert. If it's within your family and your mum and your children are becoming wayward, you have to talk to them in honesty and truth. And sometimes that means what it means is that you got to get honest with your children. And I'm just gonna challenge you today as parents. Those of you who are parents, if you're not a parent, fair dues. But those of you who are a parent, right? Those of you who are parents, many times as parents, let me just own my own stuff. Many times as parents, we forget where we're coming from. We forget that we have stuff in the closet that our children don't know about. We forget that we're not perfect. We forget that what they've done, right, we've already done. We become disappointed in them because of the disappointment in ourselves that we never dealt with. Boom, it's Tuesday's truth. There you go. There you go. There you go. The things that we never dealt with in our younger years. And then because we don't speak about it, because we hold it, then when they do it, we want to put the wrath on them. We want to tell them off. We want to make it like we know everything. But you know what would be better? And let me just give you some parenting skills here. Your honesty. Your honesty is better. Yes, baby, I understand. I understand where you are at now. I'm upset. I'm disappointed. But I understand where you are because understand where you are because I've been there. When I was wherever I was, however old I was, this is what happened to me. Do you know, if you tell your story, if you own it and you tell it, and you tell it with authenticity and love, do you know how much your relationship will improve with your children? Right? It will improve with your children. It will improve with your loved one. Tell your story. Be honest and be present in that moment. Be present in that moment. So your story, do not be ashamed of your story. So your task today, again, go and find the picture. I want you to post these pictures. Post the picture, post it on my timeline. And say, this was a defining moment. This was the moment. And if the moment is today, take a picture of you today and say, this is as a result of morning inspiration, and I am changing my life today. My story, the old story stops today, and I'm creating a new one. I'm taking ownership. I'm taking responsibility of my life. Right? That's all you have to do. That's it for today. It's Tuesday's Truth. You've got the boom. The boom was already there. You got the boom. And the reason why I'm cutting it short today is because I know that you get a lot out of this. And sometimes you just need a little starter. You don't need the whole meal. And so today I'm giving you the starter. Tuesday's Truth. You be honest with you and be honest with others about your past, about your story. Right? Before you start having a go at anybody else and looking at anybody else differently, oh, rare 10, you start getting all the attitude. You check yourself. Are you living in your story? Are you living in the past? Or are you living in the future? Let me repeat that. Actually, let me correct myself. Are you living in your past? Or are you living in your present with the intention of having a greater future? That's what I meant to say. So are you living in your past? Does your past still define you? Because if it does, that needs to change. And as we go on through the week, we will go through further and further about your story, because your story is the most powerful thing that you have, right? So wishing on Gems says, thank you for today. I needed this. Praise God. Praise God that you got this today. Thank you for being here. Grand risings, my lovelies. Grand risings to you all. This is your girl, Yvonne Michelle from YvonneMichelle.com. Please remember to join us tonight for the After Dark show. It's the adult relationship show, and we are looking at spiritual sexuality, tantric sex. We are looking about how we reconnect with ourselves, with the source, with each other. This is deep. This is real deep stuff. So if you are in a relationship and it's not going the way that you want it to go, if you're not connecting with your partner, with your spouse, with your friends with benefit, with your booty calls, right? If you're not connecting, this is one way that you can connect, because it's not all about having that impact of full-blown intercourse. It's far deeper than that. And we are spiritual beings. And so we're exploring that with our experts. We've got one from America, one from the UK, male and female, Chastity Chandler and Fidel Buhill. So do join me at 10 tonight for the After Dark show. And let me just say, have a look at After Dark Pleasures. I am now serving you guys with novelty sex toys and very beautiful lingerie, and we even have bespoke lingerie that will be on show in the next few weeks. Okay, so that's me, that's it. I'm out of it tonight. I've got to go and sort myself out for tonight. So I will see you back here tomorrow at 9 for Wednesday's Wisdom. Ciao for now. Have a great day, guys. Have a great day. So here we go. We're going to go now. I'm going to go.